So good afternoon. We're live once again on the campus of C.C. Sweeting Senior High School in Nassau, Bahamas. I'm Miranda Innes, head girl class of 82. And we're here to take another walk down memory lane. We'll be talking today to administrators and former alumni of the school, graduates of the school, to talk about their memories of the school as we celebrate 50 years of excellence in education. And we're just so delighted to be able to recognize some of the persons who have passed this way, walked the yard, this campus that I'm sitting on right now. We'll be honoring on October 1st at a gala banquet our former principal and ambassador to the United Nations, Mr. A. Leonard Archer. We'll also be honoring the Commissioner of Police, Clayton Fernanda, the Commodore of the Defense Force, Dr. Raymond King. This is on October 1st at Super Club Breezes here in Nassau. And we're inviting all of the former educators, students of the school. If you have been connected to CCC and Cobras at any point during its 50-year history from 1971 to date, then we're inviting you to be a part of that banquet. Tickets are on sale. You can get it from any members of the executive. Our chairman is Andrew Hunter. The president of the Alumni Association is Nelda Fox. And there are so many other persons involved: David Williams, Dennis McPhee, Moni Pratt Wallace, just to name a few of those persons who have really dug in and put their hands to the plow to help to make this event on October 1st, a success. And so we're appealing to all of you who are alumni of the school to come on and be a part of this event. We only get to celebrate 50 years once. And I don't know what your school career may have been like. It may have been better. It could have been better. Some bad things might have happened. But whatever has happened, you're here and you're alive, and you have an opportunity to celebrate exactly what is happening with us. And so I'm live on the campus. I'm waiting now for persons to come in who I'll be interviewing today. I'm expecting persons from Grand Bahama to come in, Mr. Clarence Wallace. I'm expecting some school administrators and other alumni that are just kind of milling around. So I'm waiting for them to come on in. Let me just bring you up to date. Last Saturday, I want to say thank you. We had a family fun day at Arawaki, and so many people came out and participated. And I want to say thank you to all of those who decided to participate and to be a part of that particular event last Saturday on Arawaki. Thank you to all the alumni. We even met someone who literally was a part of the second, I believe she told us, the second graduating class of the school. And she was a very, very proud Cobra. And it was good to see her mixing and mingling among those of us who took the time to participate in the fair last year. And so again, I'm coming to you live from the campus of CC Sweeting Senior High School. I'm Miranda Innes, and we are just celebrating 50 years of education. I was a part of this school as a young teenage girl, kind of fish out of water. Some of you know my story. I came out of the private school system into the school system, not exactly knowing what to expect, but I can honestly say that from that experience, I've met so many lifelong friends that I still am connected to this day. And so I definitely am a proud alumni of CC Sweden Senior High School. I also found out the other day that Kermit T, who is an announcer at Joy FM, is a fellow graduate of the school, and he's supposed to be stopping by at some point today to come and talk to us. And so I'm just waiting. I'm just hanging out here. So if you're out there, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what class you graduated from, and tag somebody and let them know we're live on campus right now. So if you happen to be in the Oaksville area, please stop on by, come on campus and have a talk with us. Today was a bit challenging day on campus. We understand that they're having some power issues here on campus. So actually half of the campus is on power and half is off. And so we saw as we were entering the property, students coming in to actually leaving and waiting for their rides, their parents and whomever to come and pick them up because the school is actually on half power today. Unfortunately, we're in the same room where we were last week, but guess what? There's no air conditioning because they're saying they don't believe they have enough voltage to be able to run the AC. So y'all pray for me and pray with me because listen, I am about to break out in a sweat in this room, but I'm committed. I'm dedicating to getting this done. Hey, Pastor Kellen. Hey, Pastor Kellen, thanks, man. Listen here, it's all about Cobra Pride today. So I'm literally looking at these men. You know how y'all congregate together and talk, and they see me here doing this live show, and they came here to do the interviews, but they have to have their little chat before they come into this hot room with me. And I think that's what they're trying to avoid. But listen, we have had the wonderful privilege as I've got involved in this campaign with spreading Cobra Pride and bringing people back together to meet so many wonderful people that have made such an indelible mark on the landscape of the Bahamas. And you know why we brag and why we're boasting now? Because never in the history of the Bahamas has two persons leading the armed forces been graduates of the same school. So we have a wonderful privilege. I don't know if it'll ever happen again in our lifetime, but we know today Commissioner Clayton Fernanda and Commodore Raymond King are graduates of C.C. Sweeting High School and holding the top posts in law enforcement in this country. And that's something not only to celebrate, but that is something that our young people can look up to as they forge their paths in the world. And so listen, come on in, tag somebody and let them know that we are out here and just waiting for them to show up and to show out. If the internet stable is a bit internet connection rather is a bit unstable, that's because the school on campus, it is on half power. And because it is on half power, not all of the school is fully lit, but I'm in this room and I'm hoping that the power shows up. And I mean, I'm hoping that it holds up throughout the duration of this live stream. We just had Mr. Maycock walk in, so come up, pull up a chair, and let's have a chat. Let's talk and get a little closer so we can see and everybody can see you. This is Tony Maycock.
Yes.
Tony Maycock, you need to come in so we can see you.
Yes.
Tony Maycock is a part of the class of
1979.
1979.
I was at the hospitality. We used to call it catering back then.
So first of all, tell us about your experience being on. Did you start in 10th grade?
Yes, initially my zone supposed to be either AF Adley or Government High, but I was such a bad child. My daddy said I could drop those friends, so that's the reason I was put in CC to get rid of me and my friends. So I started in grade 10 that Christmas. And so on, I went in grade 11.
So wait now, you said you came to this school because your dad was trying to get you from the bad company.
My friends, yeah.
Yeah. Did that follow you here? That's what I want to ask.
No, I get a couple tap up, those fellas in Baytown and Blackville, they tap you up. But I made some friends and I tapped them back up in grade 11.
So let's talk about some of those friends. Who were some of the people that you remember, the friends that you made from them? Do you still have some of those people in your life now?
Yes.
Like who? Call their names.
Gary Russell, who's in charge of Music Maker, the lawyer.
Okay.
Who else? Archela Robinson, I saw him a couple of times. They was back in the day. And basically that's it from what I can recall.
What you could recall. So what are some of the fondest memories that you ever been a part of the school? Because I'm looking at you, right, and I being judgmental by saying you look like you was mischievous.
No, I was.
Okay,
Yes.
so you got that kind of look. So I
Yes.
know you did some stuff. So let's talk about some of the things that.
Well, I used to skip school, and I used to skip school a lot. Dive off the dock for a quarter or dollar, silver dollar.
So you used to leave school and go and do that?
Yes, and I used to work at Buena Vista. So sometimes when I don't like the class, I just go and go make money. And that was the object at that time, making money.
So if you didn't like the class, you just leave the campus.
Yes, this was. I mean, most girls used to stay in school, but most of the boys, come on, man, come on, the history of our school. I don't want to say it on air.
I came along in the 80s, so I don't know.
Okay, in the 80s, we was really transforming the school by then.
Yeah, we changed.
Yeah, we changing that Dolio's name and all that. We had grade point average. So anybody who graduated in 79, we was the first to start the grade point average.
What do you mean the first start?
Prior to that, they used to have the system. And the system was the teachers determine if you stay in school. So a person like me, I came out the CC on border. Mr. Leonard Archer, he was a good principal, but he had too much faith in those teachers.
Help me understand this now.
Yeah.
So you're saying the teacher would decide if they wanted you to stay in school?
Yes. They had a form going around, and the teacher would say yes, no, and maybe so was border.
Wow.
So anybody who was mischievous like me, and the teacher don't like you,
you got a maybe so.
You ain't got no maybe so, you got the no. You got the no. No maybe so there.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's the first time I ever heard of that.
Yeah, because you was in 80.
82.
Yeah, no. Anybody in 78 down, they know of that system. And 79, we started the average system, and that's how we get
the grading to be okay.
A 2 point and above.
Right.
Yes, we start that.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I get together with. Although I skip school when I come make it a pass.
So you was in the catering, and is that the
hotel hospitality field?
Right, but is that the field that you went in when you left school?
No. When I left school, I joined the Defense Force as a teenager.
Okay. So what made you choose the Defense Force?
Well, I didn't want a short job. I think the hotel couldn't deal with me. My personality was too strong.
But the Defense Force, on the other hand, called for, I believe, strict discipline. So how did you manage that?
Yeah, but that fit my personality.
Okay.
See? I rough around the collar. The hotel, you're gonna be soft around the collar.
So you made it into the Defense Force, and how many years did you spend there serving the country?
I served the country for 25 years. I actually retired from the Defense Force at the age of 44.
Thank you for your service.
Yes.
An early retirement.
Yes.
Like that.
And then after that, I went at PTVI and I taught welding for 3 to 4 years. I served at the gym tennis club for 4 years.
So you've been active, you've been always involved in, sounds like as a public servant, serving the country, but also serving the young people by being the teacher now.
Right.
What was that experience like with the tables turned now? You're a teacher teaching welding students. What was that like?
Well, in all honesty, I really could identify with the students in technical because most of them remind me of myself.
Okay.
So I try to reach them where they was at.
Okay. So it wasn't that much of a challenge for you?
No.
Because you were able to connect with them on a level that, really reached them and got them to be productive.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
So what do you think about what's happening now and this whole call to come back and Cobras to come back and to unite and to get involved? And then I want you to give a shout out to some people who they need to get on board this thing.
Well, all Cobras especially the set on the defense force. Well, they know, like we say in the Bahamas, if we like you, we will lie for you. So a cobra is always a cobra. So I say that to say this. Come back home, Jarrell, Tucker, Albie Tucker, and all of those who did attend CC Sweden. Cheese Moss. Cheese Moss, you get the biggest mouth. You bring the people because you know everybody Cheese Moss. Okay, bring them.
Cheese Moss. Okay, so you just heard from, that's Tony, is it?
Yeah, Tony Maycock.
Tony Maycock. Tony Maycock, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Right. Listen, guys, we have so much more to come up. I see Jackie Knowles on. She says, I taught at CC Sweeting from 1978 to 2001. Welcome, Jackie. Thanks for tuning in. Listen, if you're just joining us, I'm Miranda, and it's live on campus here at CC Sweeting Senior High School in Oaksfield, where we're celebrating 50 years, 50 years. 50 years of excellence in education, and we're calling Cobras to come back home. We don't matter where you are, what part of the world, what you're doing. We want people to come and to be a part of it. We're proud. Cobras pride is riding high. Over the past few weeks, we've got on board, and listen, can any good thing come out of CC Speeding? You'll begin to see people from a myriad of different occupations, holding so many different positions around the world, even in this country. And we're proud. We're uniting, and we're putting aside whatever differences we may have and what we liked and what we may not have liked. And so tag somebody and let them know if they're in the area, stop by. I'll be here for a couple of hours. I'll be talking to some former administrators later on as well. And right now, though, I have waiting in the wings. He is a former commander in the police force. He is a former chief passport officer, and he is the former director of immigration in the person of Clarence Russell. Bringing him in. I'm having an Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Okay, if you have two devices on, you may want to mute.
Okay.
I'm hearing.
How's that? Is that any clearer?
Okay, sounds a little better.
Okay. How are you today?
Do you have another device on?
Yes, I also have my tablet that I was going through with some information.
Turn that off because that may be the source of the speaker.
Sure. Let me just get. How's that?
Yeah, that did it.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Russell, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's
good to be back home.
I was so delighted to make you last week. I'm still hearing.
Okay, let me get a little. Let's see, give you a little more. Okay, let's see here.
Hey, y'all tag some people.
Sure.
If there's anything else.
Can anything good come out of Sweden?
We're still hearing it.
I'm going to clear you up right now. Technology, eh?
Wow, Mr. Russell. Good afternoon, Jill. That's another class. Class of 82. I got a natural body.
Now you can get me very well.
Okay. I can't.
So I'm ready for you.
Okay, so listen. You're a part of the class. A strong class that has been doing 79. I'm correct.
78. That's correct.
78. 78. And you guys have been doing a myriad of things over the years.
That's correct.
To celebrate and to celebrate. So tell us about your experience.
So first of all, thank you so much for having me. I am Clarence Russell. I attended Sweeting from 75 to 78 with some of the greats who came out of Sweeting. Back in the day, as the young man suggested just a while ago, when we carried the stigma of the big doll house. That may have been for many a bad thing, but I am one of those people who have great resolve, and I believe that without struggles, without tests, you have no testimony. And so had we been placed in one of the other institutions that were a little softer, perhaps we would have come out a little softer and less resilient. But to have gone to Sweeting and to survive what we went through at that time, I think it made us the people that we are, the survivors that we are today. That brings me to mind, I'd like to give condolences as I listened to the service just now for the nation, the memorial service for those persons who have lost their lives in Abaco and Grand Bahama on this fateful day, the 1st of September 2019. That service is going on just now, and it's really a solemn occasion. And so there may be persons with us and around you who may have lost their loved ones. I know personally because I suffered Francis and Jean both as a commander in Abaco at the time and had to send many people during Dorian. But I am hoping and praying, in spite of the fact that we're in the hurricane season, we never have to experience something of that magnitude again in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and or elsewhere. So let's get that off our chest. I give condolences to all those persons.
I have a very personal affinity that many years of my family resides, as well as so many, the whole narrative there. And so one of the first things today was to post something that says, I remember. Not only what they experienced, but what they continue to experience. And for some reason, they're still having feedback, and it may be because we're on half, and that's on this side.
Okay.
So perhaps that's here because of the half going on campus. So Grand Bahama, remember, we love you. Continue to pray for you. And really hope that you have the capital support that you need to help to rebuild.
I graduated in June of 78, and prior to that, several of us, students at the school, as a deputy head boy, we went down to the Oaksfield Police College and took the exam. We signed up for customs, immigration, the defense force, and we did that because there were many of us who experienced some of the older kids who unfortunately had to repeat with us. And so the plethora of scholarships that would normally be available through A. Leonard Archer, Mrs. Lenora Archer, Mrs. Mary Knabb, and the likes, those persons would make scholarships available to us, catering, myself in business and or the academic stream. Unfortunately, many of the older kids who had repeated got first crack. And so many of us were a bit disenfranchised. I myself personally lost my mom in 68, had been given two twins by her, 1 year and 9 months old, to take care of. And so I understood what responsibility was very early in my life. At one point, I had a problem with her for that. one for dying and then for giving me such responsibility. But as I look back over my life, I think many of the younger kids would realize that when everyone was hanging around and playing, and Clarence was just jetting off, they didn't understand why. Well, I had to go home first to collect my twin baby brother and sister, and then take them home, provide for them. Of course, then hand them over to my grandmother and grandaunt, who became the custodians for us. Life has not been easy, and those are the kinds of things that I think that the alumni can, through our ministry, speak to the younger kids who are in school now who feel so disenfranchised as a result of where they are coming from. Particularly the young boys. I think they need to know from us who have gone through it all and in spite of that, reaped some degree of success through God, of course. But I think the message must be loud and clear that it doesn't matter where you come from, but where you end up at the end of the day. And if you've got grace and you believe and you've got some kind of support like us, they can come through as well and succeed as much as we have. I graduated in June, and in August the 14th in particular, I was in the Royal Bahamas Police Force as a buck private. My brother, 619 Russell, was a police officer as well before me. And so I had the edge in that I cleaned his buttons and I did most of his groundwork for him. And so when I went in, I was kind of a star. And then my squad instructor, Henry Goose Wims, happened to be from 3rd Street, The Grove. I myself grew up on the corner of Blue Hill and Robinson Road, just there. Many people will know that, just next to the Grove Police Station. And so the tire shop that was there, I owned it. At 15, as an entrepreneur, I opened and started that tire shop. I don't think it's there today, but the old homestead is still there. My brother and his wife still lives at that residence.
Okay, I want to interject right here. I don't know why this but at 50, to have the genius, the bravado, the grit to open a tire while being a student. Where did that come from?
As I indicated, Mom died the 27th of May, 1968, and she gave me twins, 1 year, 9-month-old twins. I had to provide for them and survive as a 8-9-year-old boy. My older brother had just joined the Royal Bahamas Police Force, and so he was not at home. My older sister had been married and she had moved out, and so it was only my grandmother and grandaunt who had migrated from Fresh Creek, Andros, Miss Mima and Aunt Jemima, who took care of us. They were pensioners. And so they were old by the time as we came to live with them as custodians. I was the oldest person in the house, other than them. And so I had to be resilient. Suffice it to say, believe it or not, for many in the group, in 75, I was scheduled to become a Roman Catholic priest. I'm an adamant Catholic and a Sir Knight, with the Knights of Columbus as we speak, chapter 10, 647, hurrah to them.
Okay, you can't just rush over that either. I don't know. Roman Catholic. Like no marriage.
There would have been no children, there would have been no wives, there would have been
no
nothing.
No wives. The decision to do that. At such a young age. Where Lord and serve to live on celibate forever and ever. Amen.
Father Simeon, Monsignor Simeon Roberts, and I were entering seminary together. He is now my priest in New Providence at St. Cecilia's Roman Catholic Church, 3rd Street, The Grove. I was an altar boy there. I was strong to the faith, but I had some challenges and had a strong head even then with the statue of Mary that they'd bring sometimes to my grandmother was wheelchair bound. When they'd come to the house, even though I was an altar boy, I'd refrain from, worshiping in front of it. And the very strong priest that we had, Father Paul Pendergast, then wheeled me in and put some questions to me. What was the issue? Why would I? And I explained to him that I've read the Bible and it speaks of certain things, and not that Catholics worship that. It's a reminder, like at any memorial, of the spirit of the true and living God, the Trident God. But I had my reservations. In addition to that, because we were from such meager and poor background, we needed an income. Simeon came from Bimini, and his parents, of course, had a little 193 Cleophas Cooper. I hope he's listening. Bags. He was also my squad mate. He came from the Grove, and we were taking the same path, as was 168 Glenroy McKenzie, God rest his soul, who became a police officer as well. I'm an assistant superintendent later on. We were all on that road to considering the priesthood. Stephen Placaris, who worked as a police reserve inspector for me, was also in line to become a priest at that time. The challenge from where I sat and my family was that we needed the income. And so when the force called, and my brothers and Bruce Williams in particular, from 3rd Street, the girl, my instructor, came for me, I had to go. I had one experience where my mentor, Dudley Terrence Hanna, who would have been the best commissioner of police, but ended up as the senior deputy commissioner of police, his car broke down in the rain in the front of the Grove police station. My tire shop was just next door. And it was a police car, obviously, though it was not marked, but he was in khaki, and his wife took lunch every single day. And I saw this car there, and police officers were not coming out of the station to help this man. And so I brazenly took my jack and walked to the car and saluted him. And at 15, went under the car, heisted him up, storming rain, took off his tire, took it back to my tire shop, patched it, brought it back, put it back on the car, and waved to him. He tried to pay me, and I said, "That's all right, sir." Went back into my shop. When Mr. Hanna and his wife came back from having lunch just over Blue Hill, they came to see my old grandmother and grandaunt and asked whom I was. They told him. He offered service when I would have arrived at the age to join the police force. And my father was adamant against it, Clarence Russell the First. Noel had already disappointed him. That boy was in university to become an architect for the construction company, and I was supposed to become the attorney. He had our lives planned. But Noel disappointed him, and when Noel joined the police force, we didn't even know that he was back home from college. He went in as a cadet. And so my father was adamant, and none of his other children joined in the police force. And then I disappointed him. It wasn't until I became a sergeant in 4 years, I don't think anybody break that record as yet, that he became more accepting and said, well, okay, this government job should be able to provide for you. And the rest basically is history. The 11th of October, 1982, I was transferred from New Providence into Grand Bahama as a deputy financial controller for the police department in Grand Bahama. The 15th of May, 1991, I was transferred back to New Providence to become the actual financial controller for the police department, and under the B.K. Barnaby administration, and did pretty well. And then in 1999, they were opening a new prosecutorial section in Grand Bahama. And as fate would have it, Mr. Barnaby transferred me back to Grand Bahama. And so I became the financial controller of the police in 99, and then became domiciled. The 5th of, at that time, I rose through the ranks and eventually became a commander. I'm a superintendent, took over Abaco. I was the commander when Francis and Jean struck Abaco, and so I can relate to what happens, or what happened in Dorian. And then I made a vow. I had been very successful in the police force as the press officer, etc. But I needed change. I wanted change. I felt that my life and career was becoming stagnant. I was married to a wonderful young lady, also an alumni of Sweeting, Ms. Janet Johnson Russell, volleyball star. I think she's an 82 grad. And, I decided, look, I'm going to take the chance now that this opening is here. The government of the day asked me to become the deputy chief passport officer based on some issues that were going on in Grand Bahama. They needed someone they claimed who was of integrity, of impeccable character. And so I just took the reins and I ran. I went into the passport office there as deputy chief passport office, and we know what happened there. I cleaned it up. And as a result of that, there was an election, government change, and the new government said, look, we like what you've done. We want you to come into New Providence and take over as the chief passport officer. But my problem was, I'm not going to bring my family, my wife, who's now an assistant port controller in Grand Bahama. And I'm the type of person, if you give me much food, I can take your job and you know. And so I didn't want to uproot my family and then, not make the right decision. Well, as fate would have it, I was that fellow who brought in the new polycabinet biometric e-passports into New Providence, into the country. And the rest was history there. And then there was another change of government. And that government said, listen, we have another task for you. And I think we would have heard the Prime Minister say on nationally, and I think that then, we want you to take over as Director of Bahamas Immigration. I had never worked in immigration before, but I had management skills. I'd been British trained at Leicester University. And I'd also been trained at Bramshill College, UK. And so I had foreknowledge with management. I was always a disciplined person and someone of order. Those were basically the characteristics that they needed. We know in the country what was going on, suffice it to say. And so both governments, both administrations decided that they would utilize my skills, my bigger skills, to assist in the development of the country. I went in, did what I had to do, and last October, I was asked to consider another posting. I've always been interested in foreign affairs and in overseas service, and so we'll see what happens. As of today, I'm in the abyss. I'm in transition. I'm awaiting the call so that I could know exactly what to do. I'm not sitting back on my laurel. I am a consultant, having served in so many different areas. And so in the interim, my wife and I are doing some things to make ends meet. I have 5 children. 4 girls and 1 boy. Oh,
Mr.
sorry.
Lifelong public service career. And it's not over yet.
Absolutely.
Let me just say from the onset, at this point, I look forward to working along with you and the Cobra alumni to further things to
there are a couple of other brilliant persons, much more brilliant than I, whom we have to reach out to. Persons like His Excellency Ellison Edroy Greenslade, former Commissioner of Police. He's an alumni of Sweeting. Many don't know that, but he is. I think in the 80s. We also had former Assistant Commissioner, now Bishop of the Turks, Caicos, and Bahamas Islands, Yulin Hanna. He is also one. I want to bring to the alumni's attention that our former teacher, Mr. Larry Cartwright, became the ambassador to Washington. He and his family just lost their home in Long Island, and there's a go-to fund. I think that it would be very good if we could get together and try to assist Larry. My favorite homeroom teacher and teacher in Sweden was Miss Lenora Archer. Lenora, we thought at the time, was the wife of A. Leonard Archer because they were so close. Only to be severely reprimanded. Lenora had her husband and he had their wife, but their names were so similar. They were both Archers. And so she is a tremendous resource. We communicate to this day on a daily basis, Lenora Archer and I. She's not extremely well, but she's a wonderful person, resilient. And so when I spoke to you and I said, I noticed that there are no women being on it, but if you will consider it, she would be certainly someone at this time who would definitely be deserving of recognition. And then you've got people like Renee Humes, who is an executive in accounting down at Kelly's. You've got people like Doralee Murphy Taylor, who was a sister in the Princess Margaret. In this COVID time, those are people who are worthy. You've got on Grand Bahama people like Joan Umbrista, who is a lab technician, blood lab technician in this COVID environment. That's a hero. There are so many persons who are graduates of Sweeting and a part of the alumni, including Hunter, Dr. Hunter. But many of us were unaware that you had progressed so well in getting this alumni off the ground. It's something that we've been doing individually. But to see you and your team, I want to commend you. To see you and this team bringing it to the forefront so well, to include practically everyone, not just who have been extremely successful by world and society standard, but everyone who has made a contribution, everyone who remains alive, everyone who made their contributions in school. I think in 75, 76, the head boy was Charlton Tinker. I think in 76, 77, the head boy was Thompson. And then for 77, 78, it was Clement King. I was his deputy, as was Arlington Edgecombe, who is in England as we speak, as a philanthropist, a very wealthy and fine young man, the nephew of Sir Albert Miller. And so you've got many persons in the alumni, not just executives, but persons who've contributed tremendously to the society, the Defense Force officers, Clayton at the police force, Hunter in the band, Stirrup, who was in the band. In fact, almost all of the band leaders for the Royal Bahamas Police Force have been from the Grove, not the White Grove, the Grove I'm from, the Black Grove. And many of them were Sweden graduates. And so I really want to commend you, Miranda. I've always known that you were brilliant and that you'd come to great things. We were disappointed that you walked away from ZNS the way you did. And I did say to Diana, you've lost a gem. Yes, you can laugh at me, and I don't need to know the whole story, but we have talented Bahamians, if they're maids, if they're bartenders, if they're hair braiders. We had it all in Sweeting. In fact, Sweeting was one of the first schools who was so diverse that we had catering, we had agriculture, we had woodwork, we had academics, we had business, music, and then the sports, of course. We have been a diverse society that I think the younger generation and the Ministry of Education can look back at and see how it was done. No, we didn't come from an easy background. No, we didn't have it very easy. The school environment was somewhat challenging, but we survived. I was always athletically inclined, and so as a deputy head boy, I made certain that whenever there was a problem on campus or outside of campus, we had a spree of rapes that were happening where the old government high was, in that bushy area going from Bain Town. I mean, I can say this now because the statute of limitation has expired on this. It only takes 6 months to a year. And I took a group of fellas, people like Edric Poitier, who was our subordinate, who now, by the way, sits as the head coach in Boise State at Boise State University of the female volleyball team, a Bahamian, a CC graduate who always brags about the school. Your good friend and colleague, the brilliant Rodney Monka, though people don't know, was a rebel at Sweeting and actually led the march that we had onto Bay Street for change and for betterment. You could see my Cobra jersey behind me. It just barely fits, but but it's there. The point I make is we have graduates from Sweeting who would yearn to become a part of the alumni. They just need to know. And so I invite you, as you so capably and ably said, that you're going to go on to talk shows and let others go on to some of the more challenged talk shows and get the message out. There are people who will be prepared to assist. Come to the school and speak to the young men, particularly around graduation time. I also suggested to Lenora and A. Leonard that perhaps we consider a wall of fame where the former graduates who have been successful in the society, their photographs, what we've achieved, can be placed on a wall of an auditorium or something, and they can actually see that out of Sweden, great things and great persons and great individuals have evolved. It's something to motivate them to say, you know, I understand that he had a rough time or she had a rough time, and look at where they've come from. Yes, my mom is not here right now. Yes, we don't have $1 million in the bank. But if Mr. Russell, who came from nothing, the Grove, the real Grove, could have had 5 children, and then schooled himself and went to university afterwards and is now sitting where he is sitting, I too can do it. It's all about hope. It's all about inspiring those young people. And then, of course, there's the financial side of it, Lady Ines. I think that we who have come before you all and the others are now in a position to financially contribute when, in fact, we might not have been able to do so then. And so that is a very significant factor. When they need a bus, go to the alumni. When they need certain supplies for the students in these rough times, and I think we constantly hear the politicians speaking to the issues of the inflation that's upon us, and they need supplies, children who are disenfranchised and need breakfast and the rest of it. I think we are in a position now, many of us, to contribute. And so you can count me in. Many of my colleagues, my wife, who's an alumni, Rhymes, Wilson and those, and Edric Morrison and those, Edric Poitier and those. There are a plethora of graduates from Sweden who are now in a position to assist. And if you reach out to us, and if we are aware of what's going on, and we become a part of what you're doing, get all of our email addresses. This is an era of technology, and just hit us off. I'm on Grand Bahama, and I don't know in the next couple of weeks where I'll be in the world, but we can make a contribution if granted the opportunity. And so I want you to count me on board. I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I'll send you your very difficult 30-minute request that you made of me. But there are so many persons who are much more achieved, much more brilliant than I'll ever be. People like Dexter Navalio, who is a 78 graduate, who is a chief executive officer, operating manager of an offshore bank in New Providence. People like Ricardo Cox, who is also a CEO of a local bank in New Providence. They are not yet apart because, you know, we've not been brought together like you are doing now, but we are available to you. And so I implore you to reach out to us, give us an opportunity so that we can give back to a school, a faculty, a body who has given so much to us, who's given us life, in fact. And so I'm open and available to you whenever you need me. Just reach out. If I'm not here, I'll make certain provisions, and I'm guaranteed that you'll feel us in a splendid way. Before I go, I had indicated to the meeting that I attended as Chief Passport Officer over at the police band area that there are many of us who were so disenfranchised, coming from the social economic background, who didn't even get school rings. I watched the SAC graduates, the St. John's graduates. My children went to some of those schools. I watched them as they prodigiously show off their rings. I want my ring. I didn't get it then. I am prepared to pay whatever it costs to get it now, including if we could get the yearbooks. Those are financial opportunities that's available to the alumni that if they were to be brought under one umbrella, they can be made available to us. Watches, some ties, you name it. We pay for them, and before you know it, your banquet is paid for, and many other things. And so we have good ideas. Count me in. I know that there are many other people who might be listening. I'm certain I will share ideas with you as you need them, and we go from there. But I want to commend you and your team for having done a brilliant job at taking us to this level. I might not get there on October 1st. I don't know what will happen to me and for me between now and then, but I'll be with you in spirit, no matter what. And so thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you there.
Okay, thank you so much for being a part of it. You're kept in the loop of everything. And for now, I bid you but a real talk soon.
Absolutely. You have my contacts, please share it. Thank you so very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. So we've been listening to Clarence Russell, a 1978 graduate from C.C. Sweeting, living in Grand Bahama, and we've heard of all of the various posts that he's held as a public servant in this country, and possibly a diplomatic career ahead for him. So we say congratulations to him and to all of those Cobras out there who are serving in whatever capacity they may be. Please reach out to us. If we can't find you, find us, Miranda Innes. I'm simply doing my part in the public relations department, but there are so many people that are a part of this team that have been in the forefront, actually doing the work to pull this banquet together, like Dr. Andrew Hunter, who happens to be the chairman, Nelda Fox, who happens to be the president of the alumni. But it didn't start there. It started with Dr. Deborah Newbirth. Dr. Deborah Newbirth, some years ago, after she returned to the Bahamas, came in country and had this wonderful idea of bringing all of the classes together under one umbrella. And those of us who caught her vision and ran with it began this whole process of establishing an alumni that would be inclusive of persons representing all of the graduating classes so that nobody would be exempted. So whoever wants to be a part, they're welcomed. It is not an exclusive group, it's an inclusive group. And we're looking forward to so many of you becoming a part of it. And of course, starting by attending the banquet that's coming up on October 1st at Super Club Breezes, where we're honoring Clayton Fernando, Raymond King, the commissioner, the Commodore, and of course, our former principal, for those of us who would have been here from the 70s through the early 80s, Mr. A. Leonard Archer. So I see I have in the room, come on, somebody else, come and join me now. Come and join me right now before you go. Just come on. That's why you're here. Come on. You came too far not to do this. This is my good friend, my good friend. Now you can. Come on down, man. Have a seat. Introduce yourself to the people and tell them what your class.
Hi, I'm Craig Forbes. I represent the class of 1978.
Oh, another 78.
I am the president.
Oh, okay. So you're the sitting president.
Sitting president of the group.
Class of 78. So tell us a little bit about.
I was talking to my classmate Clarence Russell.
Absolutely.
For a while, and I'm always, and we as a group always are proud of Clarence Russell.
And all of his accomplishments.
All of his accomplishments.
So now let's turn the attention to you, because I know you got to run.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about Craig, that's your first name? Okay.
Right.
Craig Forbes, teenager walking around on this campus here. I want to hear some stories about Craig.
Well, I would say a lot of, back in the day, you would find where I always tell, but I also refer to Clarence too, when I tell people about us in school, at break time, at lunchtime, we used to clean our shoes, and we used to walk around with the hand towel with the paper clip.
Oh, on your collars, so it won't get dirty.
Yeah. So it wouldn't get dirty, and we were, I think we were a happy crew. We were a happy crew, and I used to, I think I played in the school band. Some of the first to start that. Me and Andrew Hunter.
Okay.
And we started that play. And
so you were in the performing arts department?
I was in the, I took up the hotel catering course.
Okay. But you
And,
took the music
we
classes.
did music too.
Okay.
And all in all, it was a good experience. CC Sweden was a good experience to me, and a lot of what I am today, I would say, CC Sweden played a role. I mean, behavior-wise, I might have been one of the well-behaved guys.
Okay. Okay.
We had some not so well-behaved guys, but and basically in our class, we were pretty good. We were a pretty good group, and this group is still together. We this alumni group with us,
78.
78. We plan even next year our 45th. We did 10 years a banquet, 10, 20, 30. We had the last one we had was our 40th ball. We had that at the police command center, and that was well attended. We had, I would say, 120, 130 people.
So y'all always celebrate.
Yeah, we always celebrate,
Oh.
and they say, okay, we want to throw our support behind this 50th celebration,
Right.
and next year we'll come with our 45th. And
So did you have any favorite teachers?
Joe Biden is the one who I guess I connect with. He is deceased now, Joe Biden.
His name came up a lot in
Right.
my conversations.
Right.
Recently, people talked about how impactful he was
Yes.
in their lives. Like he was more than just a teacher.
Right. Yeah, and I remember Mr. Strawn. He used to be the one with the cane.
Can't forget the person with the cane.
Right. There's a few more that I can't come to mind right now, but I had some good experience, and I would say CC Sweden was good to me.
So let me ask you this, and this can throw you off,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Did you have a crush on anybody in high school that you never told them about?
I would say.
I know I was going to get you, but
I
hey,
would
we taking a walk down memory lane.
I would say no, not
No?
really.
Okay.
I might have been what can be considered focus. We had friends. There was a girl, Cheryl Roll. She used to be the head chef at the Hilton. She was one of the head chef at the Hilton. And me and her was pretty close. And she always used to be calling me to sing. So I used to be singing in the class to the girls. I still sing today.
So you were serenading the girls.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't no.
No secret crush that you was too shy to tell
I
her.
know they might have crush on me.
Hey,
I don't know.
you never know. You never know.
But I don't think there was. Not for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a crush on any of the teachers? Because I know a lot of times the boys would have a crush like on the younger teachers or something like that.
We had I think there was a teacher, Miss Kane. I think her name was Kane at that time.
Okay.
She used to teach us, and she was a lot of people that liked her.
Had a little crush on her.
Yeah.
It's okay. It was a teenage crush.
Yeah.
Be all of them at some point.
I would say that's as far as it goes. You keep those crushes in your head.
Of course. But listen, man, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
See you soon.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm trying to reach out to the class of '78. Get your tickets. Get your tickets.
Yeah, please do.
The tickets are going fast, and I want at least my class to have at least 2 tables. So far, I'm heading into the second table. So
Great.
I want y'all to come. Get excited. Get excited about this.
Cobras Pride.
This Cobras Pride. Get excited, You see people that you haven't seen in years. I'm excited about the honorees, Mr. Archer. I'm excited about Clayton Fernando. I am excited about Dr. King. And I like Dr. King, his humbleness. That's what I like about him. He is approachable.
Really cool guy.
He's approachable. I know his family is proud of him because I just got to know that he was from CC Sweden, and I always talk to him, and I'm humbled by his his kindness and
And he's a worker.
He's a worker.
He's not afraid to get his hands
and
in.
he is always, every time there's a function, he's there. Like our class, we do church service. Anyone loved one die, we go to funerals. We participate generally. We get some of our classmates that is retired. What they do now is anytime it's birthday for someone, everybody wants to celebrate.
Nothing wrong with
we'll
that.
Go to breakfast here, or we'll go to lunch there, and that's what they've been doing for the last couple of months, because it's time to celebrate.
Yes.
We have done well, CC Sweden. Could anything good come out of CC Sweden?
I did.
I did, and I've been. God has been good to me, and I give him praise. I give him glory. I am a battery and tire, and I'm who they call the Valvoline guys. I had the brand of Valvoline for the Bahamas.
It's free ad. Valvoline needs to put an ad in our souvenir booklet. We want an ad.
Yes.
An ad from Valvoline.
I will work on that.
Yes. We need that brand to be represented in our booklet.
God bless you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
man.
you,
I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. We got to get together.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, come on, David Williams. Come on, let's talk. Come on. Do we have somebody else here? Come. So, come on, because it's only me. Come introduce yourself. Tell me who you are. This is live. And listen, guys, tag somebody else. Let's get involved with this. Come on, hey. Introduce yourself. Tell me who you are and what class you represent.
Well, good day. My name is Tyra Wilson in Bristol, and I represent the class of 2008.
Listen, you need to get your people here.
Well, we had one here last week.
Yeah. So listen, tell me about your experience, because you came in a whole other decade, not even decade, 2 decades after us. But tell us about what was life like by the time you came into the school. What was the reputation like, and was this the school that you really wanted to come to?
Well, I'll start with the latter question. I came to CC in grade 11, and I begged actually to come to CC.
Oh.
I was in private school.
Tell me about that.
And I have this thing in my head, like I like traditions. And both my parents graduated from CC Sweden.
All right.
And their
Which year?
siblings-
Which year?
I can't tell you that now.
Okay.
I know they're in the 80s, like latter 80s.
Are they still alive?
Yeah. They
Oh, we need to get them here.
We definitely do.
Okay.
They come into the bar for sure.
Okay.
So I wanted to continue the legacy. So I was like, Mommy, I want to CC. So I got one of my teachers to kind of, express to my mommy that, the schools aren't challenging me enough, and government schools have more students, so it'd be more challenging. So my mom was like, what?
That is the most interesting argument that they fell for that I never heard in my life.
So my mom was like, what, gone. You want to go. So I came to CC excited, and it's like, I go into the school that my parents graduated from. And
Legacy.
South Day Legacy, QC up there Legacy. Now I got Legacy with CC because now my husband graduated from CC. So
you really
coming here.
You're really keeping it all in the family. I like that.
Yes, I beg to come here. But
when you came, did you have any idea what you was coming into, though?
Not really, I've heard the rumors of CC and stuff like that, but I grew up around. I grew up around this area, so a lot of the kids that came to CC, I would have known as a kid. I went to Oaksfield, now Eva Hilton. So a lot of the kids that came from there came to CC. So when I came the first day of school.
So you knew people who were here.
So I knew some of the persons that were here. So when I first came to CC, it wasn't like I was lost, as in I didn't know nobody. So I knew a few persons when I came here. So that was kind of reassuring and confident when I came to the school. But some of the rumors I heard of CC was like,
Go ahead.
one of the biggest rumors, oh, big doll house, but
I was like way back. in
yeah,
like
that's
the
what I'm saying.
70s.
Yeah, so you hear these things, but you see the changes. I
A little
remember.
loud. Excuse me. You're
I
overpowering
remember,
us.
I remember in our year, I think school, CC would have won the beautification for all the government schools, and I think CC was like really a really good school when I was there.
Who was the principal when you came in?
Missing one,
What's that? Dolores?
Dolores Ingram.
Okay. What kind of principal was she?
She was stern, and when I was there, her husband was the prime minister at the time. So
Okay.
we had everything we needed and wanted. So we was straight.
Y'all were privileged.
We was considered privileged, right? But she was stern, but also like caring. I've never got like the bad side of her, because I remember when I first came in. And she was like, "Oh, you coming from a private school?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she kind of asked more questions about that. And and she's like, "I guess, kind of like why?" But I mean, the track that I wanted to go on was science based, but they didn't have a science program. So I had to do business. And then they had two science program, and I was able to go into like chemistry, and I think it was combined science at the time. And it was only like a few of us, like really only like 5 of us who was in the class. But she was stern, but she was also fair, if I could say that. Yeah.
Who was your favorite teacher, or did you have any?
I had 2 favorite teachers. My grade 11 homeroom teacher, Mr. Monka. He was just really, he's still here, by the way.
Okay.
He was just really like nice and just caring. He went the extra mile for us. I never had classes with him. He was just my homeroom teacher. And then Miss San, she was my office procedure, I think. No, typewriting teacher.
Okay.
And she was also the advisor for SEM, and I was a part of SEM. And I remember. Yes, ma'am. I remember in our last year, she took the SEM students, and we went to Fort Lauderdale, I think. Okay. Yeah, so that was an amazing experience.
Being able to travel with your teacher.
My teachers and my parents, yeah.
Yeah. So, what is your most memorable? Like, did you meet your husband here at the school?
The funny thing is, I didn't know him.
But you guys were at the school at the same time?
Yeah, he was a year above me. He was our deputy head boy in 07, and it's so funny. You usually know the head boys and the deputy head boy,
right.
But I did not know him. He knew my friends, but didn't know each other.
And this is what I try to explain to people about. Even though the school, by the time you came, probably wasn't even as large as when we were here, because we had the job, the 2 campuses.
No.
Okay, so we had the 2 campuses, and I was telling people that because I was on that, what we call the new campus across the street, I didn't have any classes over here.
Oh, wow.
So because I didn't have any classes, I didn't know the people on the side because there was no reason for me to come on this campus. So that's amazing. But here you are on the same campus and you don't know each other.
The funny thing is, on graduation day, there were persons that I was meeting for the first time graduating with me.
Oh, I could believe that.
Yeah. And I mean, when I look at CC now compared to when I was in school, I feel like it's smaller in size. Like it's less students. Even the graduation size is smaller because I think when we graduated, we had over 100 kids. Now it's less. So it's like, I guess less students are in the school.
Or maybe more, there are more high schools now, maybe for them to be.
That is true. That is true.
Dispersed to. I think I'm not even sure how many people graduated with us, but I know it's well over.
Yeah.
Like way more than 100.
Yeah.
So what are some of your fondest memories like of being in the school?
it was always something happening.
Something positive.
Yeah, positive.
Activities.
They always made sure we had activities to make sure that we, keep in good spirits. And I would remember like being like, if I miss a day, I'd miss a whole like everything just decide to happen on a day. I
That you
miss
miss
school.
school.
And it's like I tried not to miss school because it's like you want to be in the moment. Like I always tell people, I don't miss the school work. I just miss like being.
So you
in
really
school.
like the community?
Yeah, I loved it. I felt like
I'll
everyone.
put you on a poster for CC Suite. You need to be on a poster. Yeah. No, you need to be on a poster because you're really this whole sense of coming home, being pride. You exhibit that, man. And the fact that you convince your parents
To come here.
to come to the school, that is a unique story. That's a first. I've never heard anybody do that. I came from private school, but not because I convinced, because there was no place else for me to go. So I have a different story.
My mommy didn't want me in Dublin school. CC, and definitely not CC, but I beg.
And here you are. And so, what are you doing now? Like, where do you work? What's your profession? What are you doing? Oh, sorry, no, I'm jumping all over the place. Let's go back to. Didn't know that your husband went to the school. So how much after graduating did you meet him?
Probably okay. So we got married 4 years ago, and then before that 4 years we were dating. So probably
That's 8.
probably about
2014.
2014 is when I met him, and I graduated in 2008. So
And so were you actually amazed that you all two were here at the same school at the
and
same
didn't know each
time?
other, and he
each
knows
other?
all my friends, which is
But
so
he didn't know you either.
no, he don't. He didn't know me. Or so he said.
That's yeah, he probably checking you out. I'm with you. I'm with you about that. So what do you so now we were talking about some fond memories. Yeah. What are some of your fondest memories of being at school?
I always loved sport. So I was in track and basketball, and I think one of my fondest memories would be when we our boys won Hugh Campbell.
Yeah, Hugh Campbell is huge.
I remember being in the stadium.
Wow.
And watching my friends, like just one of my closest friends, he was a part of the team. He's like their star player. Shout out to Wade if you're watching this.
Wade need to get him.
So and they won. I remember they cut off the stadium light, and all of us had our phone lights on.
That was exciting. So Hugh Campbell's like the NBA
Of Nassau for high school.
for the Bahamas. Really? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. The Bahamas.
Yeah.
We won Hugh Campbell, and that was amazing.
Awesomeness. So now tell me, what do you do?
So I have a degree in psychology, but currently I am a full-time missionary for Young Life.
So what is that? Tell me more about that. That's interesting.
So Young Life is a international organization in over 100 countries worldwide, and our goal is to reach disinterested unchurched kids. And funny enough, when we started it in Nassau, CC was the first school we started it in. So it's currently still at CC. We are at T.A. Thompson, the college at the Bahamas, and then we have a teen mom arm of it as well.
So that works in conjunction with PACE, or that's separate from PACE?
So it's separate from PACE, but our goal is to get into PACE.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a few girls that would have graduated from CC that is a part of the teen moms. But what we do is we go to the school and we host what we call clubs, and it's like game, music, dance, skit, and then at the end of it, we have like a 10 to 15 minute talk about Christ. And every year we take them to Adventure Learning Center for camp. This year we hosted 3 camps, and next week we'll host our 4th camp, which would be the Teen Moms camp next weekend.
So how fulfilling is that to you?
It is because when I was young, my aunt would always say he was a little evangelist, and you just didn't think nothing of it, right? Went to school, got my degree, actually did my internship at CC.
Oh man, let's see why I told you belong on a poster. You belong on a
And
poster
the
for
thing
the
is,
school.
I begged to come here too for that, like because I did it at I did an intern as a guidance counselor here, and I was like, I told them at test and evaluation, I was like, oh, can I go to CC? And it's like, well, CC doesn't have one. And I said, can I ask someone at CC? And there's like, you know what, we'll call. And then when they was like, yeah, we could take her. And when we had a seminar for the guidance counselors in the Bahamas, and I was talking to one of the other guidance counselors, and I was like, yeah, I graduated from here. And the lady from testing and evaluation, that's why you begged to come here.
I mean, I've never seen Cobra's pride demonstrated so clearly than with you, Tiara. We just appreciate you. Keep spreading that Cobra pride
Definitely.
wherever you
I love
go.
CC, babe.
You
Like,
love
no.
CC.
Yes.
All right, I love it too. Listen, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, good to see you. All right, we're ready now for David Williams, class of 82. Hanging in here. I don't see Mr. Hunter, and he told me he was coming by, and he told me he had some other persons lined up, and I don't know what's going on with that. But hey, Dave, welcome.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome home. That's what I'm calling it. Welcome home.
Home sweet home.
So, Dave, take us way back, because you have this thing of saying I over 50. I remember.
Yeah.
So take us way back to David Williams, teenager, coming from which school you came from, Nassau or TG?
I came from TG.
TG, and coming to the school. So you came in with a bunch of friends.
Yeah, quite a number of persons. Yes, I had already known.
So what did you think when you got here?
Well, for me, I came from TG among the top stream. Okay, so I came out of. For me, my experience was I went in 7-9. Then they realized they had me in the wrong class, so we had to do an exam. So I went in 7-4. And then
wait a minute,
7-4.
7-9, they had that many
Yeah,
kids. They had to
right. So they had us, and then there was me, Roger, and somebody I can't remember, Roger Morse. And so then we did the exam, and they put us in 7-4. Then from there I went into 8-1. I went into 9-1. Then when I came into CC, I went into 10. What did I go into? 10-3, I think. Right. So for me, and that's where the separation took place, because a lot of those persons, like I think about Ivy, Monique, Linda, a lot of us who was in 8-1 and 9-1, they went in, I guess, over to the business section, where I came into more a stream, maybe a lower, 1 or 2 steps lower.
But we didn't have the sections in the 10th grade. All the 10th grade subjects were general. We didn't remember. We chose to go into business.
Oh,
we didn't have it from grade 10.
I did say over 50. I remember, I remember.
No, we didn't have it from grade 10. So grade 10 was just general.
General, okay.
And then we chose
Okay.
which section we wanted to go with.
Oh.
So people chose either academics. That was the people who were focusing on the GC and all that stuff, the business, the hotel and catering, agriculture, and the performing arts. I think that's what
I was trying to figure out how I get class separate from all of those folks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what happened. It was a choice.
Yes.
All right, because I did went in the technical stream. I remember.
Right.
Yeah.
So y'all did the technical drawing and all that kind of
Right.
stuff.
And basically my focus on electrical, even though it's amazingly, my path took me along the way, because I went to Taylor's Investors, an electrical company, and then to BEC.
But you spent the majority of your career.
Yeah, right. Even though I still to this day do not have any interest in electrical work. It's just today somebody called me, but if I do electrical, if I'm licensed, I tell them no. I tell them, electrician is not my stuff. But when I look at CC folks, I just want to say to those of us who will watch this later, I am proud of us from our school, Miranda, because, the question is asked if any good thing can come out of the big dollars. We had this stigma. I was just on the beach this morning doing my regular exercise, and we were talking with a number of individuals, and they themselves brought up that, can any good thing come out of, CC Sweeting? And obviously we know that, a lot of good came from the big dollars.
Hey, we sitting right here.
Yes, that's my point, because when the person somebody said to me, oh, why you choose this one? Why you choose that one? Yes, this one, there's the nurse, there's this. I said, but you could go to yourself, you could go to me. These persons ain't no more qualified than all us. We all right, you know what I mean? But I say, for this time, that's who was chosen, the decision was made. And I'm saying to those, let's enjoy the moment, right?
Yeah.
It's 50 years. for most people, they won't be here for the next 50 years. I'll be here to share the story. But, let's enjoy the moment, have fun.
I keep telling you, if you could be here, I could be here too.
Well, you can be here too, I can be 107 then. I'll be like the Titanic. I can tell the story, of the 50th anniversary.
I don't want to be like the Titanic sank.
Right, but I mean, like the lady who told the story, I'll be able to tell the story. So for those of us as alumni in Rwanda, I think we ought to be proud. CC did well in shaping us. When I look at my life today, compared to CC, I was not the most popular. I was not known. I had a little crush on you too, right?
Oh, you had a crush on
No,
me?
yes, girl. I still get a crush on you.
We weren't even like in the same.
No,
it's the same
section. No,
it was just like completely apart.
Right, because as you know, man, we
Right,
physical,
right,
yeah.
right.
So I had that crush on you.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
And when I think of it, like I said, I was not the most popular. I was not talkative. I was not, I was vocal. And then when I look now, 20, 50, 40 years later, and I look at where I am,
I'm serving as an elder in your church.
Yes,
so that vocal,
right? I'm always on radio and
Yes.
television, and so I said, boy, I want to get to be in the Lord because I didn't have no training in none of these areas, and as a result, to even employed with these, I realized I get to know a lot of people. So, you know what I mean? A lot of times I go places being involved in prison ministries, and as a result of this experience, knowing people, and one of the questions now I ask everybody, I go asking people, oh, hi, you went to CC?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I was just with the beauty salon just now, and I asked her, I saw the shock on her face, and I said, oh, I said, we're putting together a 50th anniversary, and that was the reason I asked. So I think we ought to be proud, there's nothing to be ashamed of. That stigma, the big dollars, is done away with, or even if it is, then when we look at where we are today compared to then, it's a lot I could say. So all I say around it, to God be the glory.
Listen, I don't even pay any attention to what happened prior to us coming as life, what we make out of life,
Yes,
and all that stuff. So listen, we've been planning. You guys have been working all year, as a matter of fact, all year pulling things together to this one big night, on October 1st.
Yes,
and so a lot of people have been asking you, like you said, well, why these people? Why were these? So let's speak to that right now for anybody who may be curious.
What I'll say to the persons, it actually started right in this room here. John Stewart, who I call the Prophet John, and I had a conversation at his business place. And this being the 40th anniversary for those of us in 82.
Yes.
So John and I had a conversation. I said, well, John, this was last year. I said, what we'll do, let's get 82 together. We're gonna come celebrate. We'll maybe plan some party or something, and we want to honor some persons. And I said, like, I thought of Clayton Fernanda at that time because he's in 82. And at the time, we had some meetings, but they were very the attendance.
Attended. Me, you, and Dennis, and the couple.
Right. Yeah.
Me, you, and Dennis.
Yeah. So the attendance was not as good, So I said, you know what? Why not let's just open it up and include everybody? And then my mind went on. I said, hey, Clayton at the time was deputy commissioner. Raymond King is the commodore. I said, hey, the two of them come out of CC, right? Why not let's just have a banquet? Let's honor these two top. Well, at that time, Clayton was second in command. But I say the top law enforcement in this country, that has never happened before. Never came out of the same school, and out of CC and a school where had such a negative stigma. And that's how the idea. So I touched base with a number of individuals from the Alumni Association. And I say, hey, I called the Zoom meeting. And I said, let's form a steering committee. I can remember we had quite a good amount of persons came on the very first meeting. And out of that, we formed the steering committee and began the process. And here we are today, only a month out of the big event.
A month out. And listen, there is just so much excitement brewing as I'm doing the same thing as I go places, asking people, did you go? And asking the children of people that went, did you go? Tiara has this amazing story that her parents went to the school.
What it is?
Tiara.
Yes, I know. Oh, your mommy went too?
Mommy and daddy, she said.
Okay, I just asked them yesterday to get me a ticket. Mommy and her daddy.
So the fact that so many people, I thought about it, and literally my mom had 10 kids.
Okay.
7 of her 10 children went to the school.
Oh, okay. So all of them coming in for it then?
7. I don't know if they coming in, but I just know 7. I can only account for Miranda, right?
Oh,
But I'm
okay.
just saying.
You gotta have the English table then.
So in my family,
Right.
the school was very instrumental in the
Okay.
education. Everybody
Yes.
graduated.
Okay.
Every single person graduated. One of my sisters is deceased.
Right.
But we all can credit the school with being a part of our educational process.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And to the degree of success that any of us have achieved over the years, it's in part to the school. So, did you have any favorite teachers?
I think of favorite teachers because somebody reminded me this morning of a teacher. They said it was a French teacher, nice looking teacher. Say a lot of the guys used to look at her.
Had a crush on her.
Yeah, they just reminded me of that this morning. And then I remember Miss Smith. Miss Smith is Miss Smith, but she's a lawyer now. I don't know her name. Right, I don't know her name. Other than them, they're the only two I could really remember.
That you had some kind of little crush on.
Yeah, right.
So when it comes to like favorite teacher who was holding you down or staying on your case to make sure you stayed on track or whatever, did you
I
think of
remember if I
anyone?
could think of any, I only can remember the homeroom teacher, Beverly Tucker, who was in, he said that she's in Cat Island.
Okay.
Yeah, outside of that. No, I can't remember.
So why you have a blank when it comes to, you meet a lot of people, but why you have a blank when it comes to this? Because so do I gotta be honest with you. I don't remember many people.
Yeah. With the teachers, I don't remember much, and I remember the schoolmates, because as I travel and I see people and I remember them from school, or I ask them because I remember them and I can't remember from no place else. So when I, in the first place I go is a school, I would say to them, you know each other from CC, you know what I mean? That's why you always have me throwing that out. So when sometimes people be a little embarrassed or they feel like, what, you don't remember me? And I'd be like, well, I over 50. And they say, but I over 50 too,
Exactly.
So that's my excuse, you know what I mean? But yeah, so
you made some. So who are the lifelong friends, like over the decades, lifelong friends that you made from being like at this school?
Well, Dennis and I had a friendship that goes from primary school, right? He went to H.O. Nash, I went to teaching, and he came back to CC. So basically, Dennis Carey, who was at BEC like myself, us three really hang together during our last 2 years, but they're quite a number. Kevin and I grew up, Kevin Williams and we grew up. John Short, I get to know him because we all kind of hang in the same community. Who else? I'm trying to, because I mainly can remember those from 82, but the names I call are those who are kind of more closer to me.
Right.
Than
They
than
just
the others.
lifelong. You always been with them.
Yes, right.
No matter at what point. I'm talking about the people that, even if you don't see them for 10, 15, 20 years,
that's right.
It picks up.
And we do because it was in the same grade. Because I think about Derek Rule, I think about Audrey Albury, I think about Jill Henry. I can remember.
Jill was on earlier.
Okay, I can even remember Teresa. I don't know if Teresa was in our grade, but that, like I say, for that 82, I can remember them. Oh, Theodore too.
Yeah.
Theodore was actually in our class too in 82. Yeah. Right.
So what are you looking forward to on that? So by the way, I understand that you are one of the hosts.
The MC or whatever you call it, the moderator or whatever.
The host, MC, master of ceremonies for the evening. Do you have an idea? Can you tease us a little bit with what we can expect?
Well, I mean, for me right now, and simply because I know at one point somebody had asked me about doing.
Hey, Jerusha.
Somebody had asked me, I remember that name, Jerusha King or something.
Jerusha LaFarity.
Okay,
now. She's in West Palm Beach.
Okay, so I trust that she's coming. Because somebody asked me with the script. So I told them I don't write a script, right? You have a program, I will follow the program, but I will also interject. And you see what I'm saying? Right, so I am very spontaneous when it comes to stuff like that, because I can feed off what is said, what you see there, and like I was telling them, I'm not one who tells much jokes per se.
Right.
But we know Patrice is going to be the one who can deal with the joke. So what can we expect? We can expect to have fun, to have a wonderful time, to let your hair down, we call it. I is one who like to dance, so I look forward to dancing. So I'm really looking forward to it being a fun time. I everybody with a straight face. I really don't want that. So I hope people don't come and think and feel like because they dress, everybody can be so straight and so protocol and so prompt. I want us to be loose, to have fun.
Loose like a goose.
Yeah, loose, like Prophet said, loose like a goose. You know, if somebody in the banquet got a loud, but they shout out a joke or they say something, you know, that's how I want it to be. You know what I mean?
The energy. So
yeah,
that energy.
yeah. Not everybody be straight up and somebody say something and everybody put their hand up. Woo, he said that or she. No. And I feel like we all are mature individuals and we all will be respectful. But the point is, you know, we want it to be fun, man. You know,
yeah.
We want to have some energy, man. You know.
So I'm gonna try to see if I can get Jerusha in here.
Okay.
Jerusha, I just sent you a link in your WhatsApp. So I don't know if you can get it, so I can connect with you and we can see your face and find out what's going on with you.
But yeah, I'd like to see if you can get in.
So I just sent her the link. Hopefully she can connect with us. So. You want it to be this loose night. I mean, this full. Hey, listen, I've been telling people, you only experience 50 once.
That's correct.
It's right. Never coming by.
That's right.
It's just not going to happen again. And we have a reason with all the darkness that's going on in this world.
Yes.
I embrace opportunities to celebrate.
Yes.
More often than not. And so I'm encouraging people to just come on out. What I've enjoyed most about this experience over the past few weeks is meeting so many new people.
Okay.
And then reconnecting.
Yes.
With people that I haven't seen for a very, very long time.
Okay.
And I believe that others will have the same experience.
Yes.
You get out on October, you may not have seen that person from you graduated whatever year that
That's
was.
correct, right.
And you get to rekindle a friendship or start new friendships because you're definitely going to meet new people.
New people, that's right.
That you've never done. Tiara told the story of her and her husband being in this school at the same time, but never meeting.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing.
Didn't know each other. But they're walking the same campus at the same time and just never really found each other. So I don't know if Jerusha is going to connect, but yeah, so, okay, Dave is stepping up. Thanks, Dave. So we're just going to continue talking, waiting for one or two other people to come in. But yeah, get on board, man. Get on board. Tell somebody else about what we're doing, because this just is not about just one person, but this is about all of us connecting. Okay, Jerusha, if you could just, what about it?
No, I wonder if that's today's one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's no. Okay.
But it's on. I'm on now.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, so Jerusha just tapped in. Let me see if I can see her. Let's get her in. Hey.
Hey.
Dennis, don't leave me because I
didn't hear you.
Okay, so hey, Jerusha, how you doing?
I'm good. Made it through another day.
Made it through another day. You are a warrior. So
made it through another day.
Who don't know her, she's going to introduce herself and tell you about her experience at CC's meeting, where she is, what she's doing. So take it away, Jerusha. Jerusha and I have, she's one of the persons that I consider a lifelong friend, just lifelong. We just always been a part of each other's life. So Jerusha, go ahead. Tell us where you are and what you're doing.
Well, good afternoon, Cobras. What a delight. What a treat this is. I'm so excited about the week after, so I'm going to try to make it happen. But anyway, Jerusha Lavarity, now Terry, been at CC Sweeting, graduate 1982 with yours truly, Miranda, and it was definitely a very pleasant at CC Sweeting. I was in the music department, so I was a trumpeter. So Mr. Sweeting, Mr. Miss, oh gosh, I can't even remember her name. But anyway, this part and being at CC Sweeting. Keeps swirling. Is it cutting in and out, Miranda? Because I'm trying to be still.
Going in and out.
Yeah, it could be because let me go outside. The Sometimes it doesn't let me talk. So there you go. Is this better? Hopefully this is better. I had to step outside. But it's been a long run, and graduated in 1982 and went to college, studied education, where I have been teaching now for the past 34, going on 35 years. Got about 3 more years to go to retirement. Looking forward to doing some other interesting things with my career. Doing some tutoring, doing some schooling, doing some teaching resource webinars, professional development. So just trying to expand my brand. So teaching is a part of me. I don't think that will quit once I retire, and just got my hands busy. And there you have it in a nutshell. But it's just exciting to be part of CC Sweeting Cobra team.
So tell us, do you have any fond, first of all, can you remember a favorite teacher?
Yes, my favorite teacher was in 8th grade, and Miss. Oh gosh, Miranda, why is my brain like fogging? You have to forgive me because it's at the end of the school day. Miss Mariglio. She was my English teacher. Oh my
I
gosh,
had to be
and
10th grade. It was 10th grade. That can't be
that was
8th
10th.
grade now. Because 10th grade, CC Sweeten 10 and to 12, 10 to 12.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so 10th grade. Miss Mariglio, and she's still alive, by the way. She's here in Florida. I think she lives in Miami. I was able to connect with her several months ago. I hope that she gets wind of this. I'm going to try to reach out and see if she can at least attend. I know she had some health issues, but
Or
she
send us
was
a
my
video. Or even
favorite.
if we can get a video from her, that would be great.
Oh my goodness, I am going to reach out to her because she was a great influence of my career. And I fell in love with the English language, and I am a literacy coach. And
Yeah.
that has been my passion because of her. Because of her, I am in education.
So you have any fond memories of something that may have happened on campus or wait, no, let me go back. How did you get to be a trumpet player? Why the trumpet? Like there were so many other instruments. Why the trumpet?
Um, I fell in love with the trumpet when I went to. I did 1 year in the United States. I lived in New Orleans, and I went to middle school. I started out my middle school there, and everyone had to be in band in our class. So they were like, "Well, try out the different instruments." And I tried out many different instruments. And when I picked up the trumpet and blew the trumpet, they were like, "Yep, that's the one. That's the one." And
Wow.
that's how I got to
So you
play
were
the
just a
trumpet.
natural for it.
I was just natural. So I played trumpet throughout, even throughout college. I that's how I kind of had some gigs on the side, and I played throughout college professionally at the casino during the summer months when I came back home. So music was a minor for me.
So when last have you picked up a trumpet?
It's been years. I have 5 sons, and that's the last time. After I started having a litter of children, I had to put the trumpet down.
Okay,
But
so
I can still blow a main trumpet though.
you would so you don't lose it. You can just pick it up and play.
I can still
Play.
pick it up. Yeah, yeah.
So, do you have any fond memories, anything in particular on campus, walking around as a young girl?
I know one thing. My favorite part of school was lunchtime because the lunch vendors, the
Favorite
lunch
part of school
vendors,
was lunch. Okay,
the
Miss
lunch
Educator.
I'm being honest, the lunch vendors were just like, oh my goodness, that chicken in the bag and that macaroni and cheese on the side. I'm sorry, but that I live for that every day. I live for the macaroni and cheese. But all seriousness, my one of my educational moments was with Miss Meriglio. And I remember when she was teaching English, and I've never forgotten this to this day when I'm teaching. She would say, I do, you do, we do, they do. Remember that. And that
Mhm.
was one of my fondest memory of a teacher. And there was also another teacher who taught um, religious knowledge. I can't remember his name at the moment, but he was very very crafty in how he taught um, religious knowledge with social
I
studies. It was
I don't know who
combined.
that
I
is.
can't
Because I
remember
don't
his
think they
name.
use religious knowledge. I don't remember.
I can't remember his name. But he was also very instrumental in sports. He did a lot of team for the youth. I can't remember his name.
Anybody remember a religious knowledge teacher? They don't know. They can't remember either.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But those are the only two names. But Mr. Sweeting and Mr. Butler and those were and Miss oh gosh, I please forgive me. I can't remember our other and I Miss Thornton. Miss Thornton. Very fond memories of Miss Thornton because she would have us do these music courses where we do the Royal School Band and we did all of these different certificates and different levels of music. So Miss Thornton was a very instrumental too in my love for music.
Do you remember who your homeroom teachers were?
Mr. Sweeten was my 12th grade homeroom teacher, and I don't remember the others as my homeroom teacher. But Mr.
I had
Sweeten
a
was my
homeroom
last
teacher
year.
in grade. I had a homeroom teacher in grade 10, and her name was Mrs. Ducey. I don't remember her first name, but I know she was an African. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know where she is, whatever happened to her, but like, I've literally never seen her since. Like, I really don't even think after 10th grade I ever saw her again, even though we were in the
Oh
same school.
wow.
Because there was no we didn't have any classes, and I know that she was an English literature teacher
Yes.
and perhaps a language teacher, but I always wondered about her and where did she go? Where did she end up? But she was an African. She literally had tribal marks on her face.
Oh
And she was
wow.
the first African I had ever met at that age. And she had
Yes.
the tribal marks on her face too, but I don't know whatever happened to her. But Miss Cox taught me. Okay, is it a Mrs. Cox? Does that name sound familiar for religious knowledge? Are you saying it was a
No, it was
man?
a man. It was a
For you,
man.
it was a man. Okay, hey,
Yeah.
Donette. Donette said it was a Mrs. Cox that taught her religious knowledge. You remember Donette Ferguson?
Yes, I
Donette.
do remember that name.
Yeah, Donette is on. Okay, and Jackie Knowles. Remember Jackie Knowles? She taught, I
Yes.
think it was like we used to call it like sewing or whatever. I
Yes,
forget her
I
name. Oh,
do. Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
she said, hey, Jerusha.
Hi.
But there are, so we just been taking this walk down memory lane. They promised me that some administrators were coming in today, and I don't know what happened, but I'm glad I
Oh.
caught you. And I know this is the
Yes.
end of your school day.
Yes,
So
it's transitioning.
I appreciate you stopping by. Jackie, send me a note
Thank
if you
you.
want me to send you a link so I can have a conversation with you wherever you are, Jackie. So send me a
All right.
note. And
Keep
Donna,
being
if you have
great.
a chance, no. So I'll let you go. Good to see you.
Yes. See you later.
Okay, bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
So, all right. So that was Jerusha Lavarity Terry, who's now living and working for over the past 30 odd years in West Palm Beach, Florida, as an educator. And she said like she probably has like 3 more years before she retires. So it's good to see her. And she's also a product of the class of 1982. So we're just hanging out and taking this walk down memory lane and reminding people that the banquet is coming up on October 1st. Tickets are going fast. I got 10 tickets, I believe, on Tuesday. I think I got 10 tickets on Tuesday, and those 10 tickets are gone already. But tickets are available from anybody. If you need tickets, send me a quick, I'm on Facebook, so put something in my inbox because I happen to be in Nassau, which is a wonderful thing. And let me know if you need tickets, and I'll see how I can secure some tickets to you for the event so you can come and celebrate and connect with some people you haven't seen in however many years. So, yeah, Jackie, let me know if I can send you a link to talk, because if not, I'm getting ready to wrap up and sign off in a few. Okay, I was just reading a message from Mr. Russell says, isn't it amazing that we are older today, all of our than all of our teachers were back in the day? After 40 plus years, we are old. I am older. I definitely am old, but isn't that interesting for real that the people that were our teachers, we thought they were so old, like we could never see ourselves being as old as them. And like he was saying, now we're actually older than they were when they were teaching us in high school. It's absolutely an amazing thing for all of us in the 80s. For sure, we're over 50. We're over 50 years old and we're still here. God has been good. He's been amazing to us. And I appreciate and love him so for just being so good and so kind to us. And there are just so many reasons. Hey, Christine Thompson, that's my Yvonne, y'all. Yvonne is a very dear friend of mine. Yvonne is definitely going to be at the banquet on the first. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me, Dave. Listen, we're looking for 10 teachers, actually 8. We're looking for 8 teachers that were a part of who taught us, and this is for the class of 82. If you are connected with anyone that taught you during that year 82, our graduation year, we want to find those teachers because we want to honor them. And our honoree, Clayton Fernando, as a matter of fact, he has literally purchased a table for these former teachers, class of 82, who would have taught us. And so we have tickets. We have free tickets, courtesy of our Commissioner of Police, Clayton Fernando. So if you are out there or if you know of any of the teachers that taught us during the class of 82, we want to honor you and celebrate you too. And we have a free ticket for you to attend the banquet, courtesy of the commissioner. So spread the word. Spread the word that the tickets are there and available. So we saw, for those of you, just to bring you up to date, last Saturday on Arawaki, we held a mini fair family fun day, and it was so good to see alumni from all throughout the decades. I met a lady who told me she was a part of the second graduating class of CC Sweeting, and she told me she will definitely be attending the banquet. And I met a lot of people from the 70s, but you know where there's a void, y'all? I have not met anybody who graduated from the 90s yet. I've not seen one single person. That's amazing, a whole decade. And I've not seen one person to represent the 90s yet. And I've seen a few from the decade of the 2000s. And we want everybody to get involved because, again, this is an inclusive organization, the alumni. It's all of us. No matter what year you graduated, we are definitely encouraging you to come on board and to be a part of the celebrations. We only turn 50 once, and in this instance, it is our school, the place where many of us would have gotten our secondary education. Many have gone on in the education field. Jerusha definitely is one of them. Donette as well. Donette as well is in the education field right now, doing an amazing job in the testing and evaluation section, I believe, at the Ministry of Education. So salute to Donette Williams, who's also a part of the class of 1982. So thanks for stopping by, Donette. And Yvonne, class of 1982, she was in business with me. Hey, Yvonne, good to see you. Dennis, listen, class of 82 has been representing and supporting this alumni since its inception because we believe in community, we believe in family, and we wear Cobras pride and we shine because we are definitely proud of what we are doing. And so I understand some more people are coming in now. It's 2:50. That should have been there from 2 o'clock. And we just been going and going. So I have someone coming in. You just come in and introduce yourself. Come on, let's talk, Terrence.
How you doing?
Terrence McSweeney.
Yes, Terrence Red Eye McSweeney.
Class of 76.
Proud class of 76.
Listen, welcome back.
That's the days when they used to call us the funny name.
The big dollhouse.
The big
Tell
dollhouse.
me about it because we came afterwards. We heard about it, but we didn't really
What
understand.
time you came?
82.
82. Oh man, that was long gone in college. Everything was gone.
So,
but you know the names
well, no,
still
I
hang
didn't
around.
come in 82. We graduated in 82. So that
Okay.
meant we must have come in like 17 now.
All right,
80, something
okay,
like that.
okay,
But tell
all right.
me, what was that big dollhouse thing all about? Let's just put it out there.
Good afternoon to your audience, those who are watching this good show today, speaking about our 50th anniversary.
Yep.
And definitely, I know you would have probably given them some information in regards to
Oh, for
the
sure.
big Saturday, the 1st of October.
Oh, it's the big thing.
Y'all a little 13 days earlier. I was hoping that y'all would go to the 14th of October, but to God be the glory for the first year, coming to the school in 1973.
So did you come from one of the junior high schools?
I came from S.E. McPherson.
Okay.
S.E. McPherson at the time, but I've started in the old Princeville building, which is on the east side of Blue Hill Road across from BPL, which was BEC at the time. And having to grow up in Sunshine Park, we were told that they were going to be building a school, that we didn't have to go over to AF Adley, which was Howell Road back in the day, and that we would be coming there to S.E. McPherson. But because of, you know how it is with construction, it depends on how the weather is and other elements and stuff. So we end up then getting from Howell Road, which was orange and white cheese and bread back in the day.
Yeah.
And we went to S.E. McPherson, which was using the building that Jordan Princeville had left, coming through the Baptist. And they went down to Calvin Road, and then we
That was
went
high school.
there, exactly. We went there to S.E. McPherson, and then from S.E. Coming over to the great home of the Cobras, C.C. Sweeting.
So when you came over to CC Sweeting, did you know anybody? Did you know much of the students here?
Most of the students that were supposed to go have gone to, went to S.E. McPherson with myself. All of us grew up either in Sunshine Park, Golden Gates number 1, and Seven Hills. So we actually came as a neighborhood boy, a neighborhood girl, and so forth. So that made the transition good. Also, too, you know, most parents didn't have cars back in the day.
Okay.
So we all would have, you know, walked to school in the morning, or we would have stand up on the road somewhere, Blue Hill Road, to make sure that we caught a ride on the back of somebody's truck to bring us as far as we could get over the Blue Hills, somewhat in the area of Ponciana Drive, and then walk on here to CC Sweeting. You asked a question about the dollhouse, the name. If you know, back in the day, round about, I think I was in grade 10, 73, thereabouts, early in the year. There was a situation during the time that we were having morning assembly. And a young lady, from my recollection, she was having, I guess, some morning sickness in terms of what she may have eaten during the morning, probably from some breakfast or something like that. And I think those young ladies who accompany her right in the bathroom that we're still using today, they associated with what young women go through in terms of pregnancy and
pregnant,
stuff.
so they thought
And
she was
then
having morning
also
sickness.
too, you know, in that same year, 73 to 74, was when this big movie came out that was a buster at the theaters, the Big Dollhouse. Was a movie itself. It was a movie, yes. You could go right online and get an opportunity to, you know, watch the movie still today. So that associated with it. And
So
then, you
this
know,
big dollhouse had something to do with girls being pregnant.
no, it just was, I think it was a black produced movie, and it probably was affiliated with school activities and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then, back in the day, we used to always talk about, dollhouse for, recreation and things. And as you know, when we grew up, we had to create our movies, or we had to create our entertainment and so forth. Okay, so
it just kind of stuck.
So it just stuck. And to this day, even when I went to college, to Bethune-Cookman College, where I did Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, when persons asked me back then, I still say I went to the dollhouse.
So you helped to perpetuate the stereotype.
No, but it's just like when persons will give you a name, short hair or nappy hair, picky head, or your big eyes, or you smile too wide, you look like a whatever. Once you start to talk about, don't call me this or don't call me that, it just stays with you. It's just like my nickname, Red Eye, stay with me. And I got the name actually playing basketball, but to God be the glory. People will call me Terrence. I know they went to CC Sweden. They call me Red Eye, then I know I would have.
It's the neighborhood people.
It's the neighborhood people and stuff like that through basketball, and also one of my entrepreneurship, and that is doing special events for different occasions and things like that. So, at this particular time, other than being a proud 76 graduate, I'm also a part of one of the board members of our school for the next 3 years.
You're serving,
and this year, the 1st of September 2022 is my initial practice day for the senior girls basketball team. So I'm also a proud Cobra. I'm on the board. We got to make some things happen. Yes, and we are going to see if we can change the atmosphere on this campus through sports.
Yeah, listen, Cobras pride is running strong through this place. If you have been disconnected with the school over the past 50 years, whenever you graduated, come on board, man. We have a vibrant alumni. We have the president of the school board is an alumni, Dr. Andrew Hunter. He serves on the school board. David Williams serves on the school board. So we are represented fully on the school board, and that only indicates to me that we have alumni from the school who are adamant about making a contribution.
And I know you may have already mentioned, to be safe in our country, it goes through Cobras.
Oh, absolutely.
Because our commissioner of police is none other than Commissioner Clayton Fernando. And if you're out on the high seas and you're stranded, you're gonna call our Commodore. He's also an alumni. So you're safe in the hands of Cobras.
And no matter where you go.
No matter where you go.
We represent.
Yeah, we cover, just like ZNet, we cover the world. We cover the world.
So listen, tell me some of your fondest memories of being a student walking around on this campus.
Well, my fondest memory is one that I always talk about that I had admired. And that was, even though I were in grade 11 and grade 12, I was in the business section classes at the time. I always admired the young men and women who were in the catering department. Okay, they came under the late Mary Knapp.
Yeah.
Mary Knapp, who was here for a while, and then she went over
Freeport to Huntsville.
Freeport, name a school after her, but she is also a Cobra.
Absolutely.
Okay, and she did an awesome thing, not other than the kids coming for classes through the week, but on Fridays and Saturdays, these kids were also involved with working events. They would come on Fridays in particular. The guys in particular would dress in their black pants, but their blue shirt, but they always had in their hand their white shirt that they had to wear for whatever function or hotel they were working to. And a lot of these young men and women back in the day end up to this day now employed at Atlantis and other hotels here locally in management position. Exactly. And there were quite a few who also now over in the United States managing a chain of restaurants, and they are Cobras.
And or owning their own
businesses in terms of catering or other businesses and stuff.
Always had a strong catering hotel
catering
department. Definitely. Also, we were a sports giant, I know.
Oh yes,
so let's talk about that, because you played basketball.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Basketball. I must give first of all kudos to Rodney Johnson. He was also my business math teacher and also accounts teacher, right? Exactly. But he also made sure that all of the guys like myself from grade 10, we played night league basketball with him in Division II. And then Poisons would have seen us play not only for high school, after school, but night league. And then my grade 11 and 12 year, I played Division I basketball with the late Randall Swaby. Our volleyball team they were no match for anybody. Anybody show, oh, we playing against the Cobras today, they would say, oh, well, we'll see what we can do. Because they know, yes, we had places like, we had places like Kelvin Check Roll, Spider. We had, I try to remember some of the names, but we were dominant.
The males and females.
The males and females. And all the sports, and then track and field. We had a lot of gifted runners in track and field. We were dominant also in soccer. All of the sports. Be it that they call us the dollhouse, from that part of life, academically, it was self-explanatory, and what we do for extracurricular activities was also a fun time to see. It was, you could not wait until this season come in, because we just wanted to see who we were going to play and who we will say back in the day who's going to get their teams.
So this is the energy that you're bringing back to this campus.
I am bringing it back. I am bringing it back. The energy that I have, I have been using it from 1995 to 2020. 1995, I started the program over at Temple Christian, senior girls, junior girls team, primary school girls team. Then I was asked by a friend of mine to come over to Queens College. Then after that, I was asked to come and help the Baptists through Jordan Princeville, the Lady Falcons. And then someone said, hey, come give St. John's. So God
You've been around.
Yeah, so God had it that I went through the Assemblies of God Church, which was Temple Christian. God had it that I go over to the Methodist and QC. Then I come around on the Baptist with Jordan Princeville, and then he say, okay, bring it on home to the Anglican. Go to none other than St. John's. But hey, he all put me through a stage of growth and development for me now to come. At the age of 64 years old, now I am walking on the 1st of September. Yes, I'm walking home through the dollars.
Yeah, bring it home to the Cobras, man. So we're looking forward to this exciting year.
Yes. I'm looking forward to what success I would have had in the private schools to come on over here. And I said jokingly, but seriously, this being my first year, I already told some girls in our off-season basketball development, I said, I just don't want no casualties. Casualties mean I don't want you to be upset if we don't be successful. But please just give me 2 years, and definitely Cobras will be ready to go. And I don't know if you all was doing this back in the day, but we had a little sign that we used to do. You know, we used to do this little Cobra thing. Yeah, we used to do that. When you see that sign come up,
you might get strike.
Yeah, you get the strike. You get the strike. And that wasn't no softball pitch back in the day. That would be like, get out of here.
Listen, we're excited, man. Welcome aboard again. And I just know I can feel the energy that you're bringing. The alumni is definitely here to assist. I'm excited about the school board, knowing who's on the board. So I know things are going to happen. And we're just encouraging, give a shout out to some people who you could think of at the top of your mind that they need to be in the room October 1st down at Super Complete.
Well, I know who've been sending me messages, but for making it seem as if I don't know what's going on. Rupert Gardner. Yeah, Rupert was good in the 400 and the 800. But Rupert Gardner, you got to be there. You got to be there. Not 1 ticket, 2 tickets.
All right.
Okay, and I don't know how far extended this broadcast will go, but I have a good friend over in the United States, Mario Pratt. He was also
Where's he? What state is he in?
I'm trying to remember. I don't want to guess and lie on him. Okay. Mario was also a good 400 and 800 meters runner. Okay, he was very good. Periodically, I see some guys, Timothy Turnquest, those persons. and trying to remember some of the females because I'm only calling males' name, but
anybody
you
who
know,
was connected to you in
yeah,
76
I
or
know, but
whatever.
I'm trying to riddle through some stuff, and I don't want to start calling names like they said. Then, but how come you ain't calling my name? I said, okay, shut down right there. blame it on me. I'm 64 years old.
Listen.
Yeah, come on. Trying to remember,
but still in your sound mind.
Sound mind.
Sound mind.
Guess
well
where?
able and capable.
I'm on the campus.
On campus.
On campus.
Yes,
making things happen.
In Cobra Land.
Cobra Land.
So listen, man, this has just been a wonderful walk down memory lane. We're going to be here every Thursday, 1 o'clock, leading up to the banquet, because we want people to feel the energy and to be a part of definitely what's happening.
I came for practice, and my good friend David Williams look outside and say, Red Eye,
yes, sir.
Red Eye, come do some interview. Come do like what? And never short the words.
I appreciate you. We get ready to sign off now, but listen. Have a great year. We'll see you around.
Yes, definitely.
Terrence, Red Eye,
Max Finney. Yes, watch out. Cobras are back.
Have a good day.
Do the same.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so thank you guys for hanging out with us today here on campus. We appreciate you. We'll be back here again Thursday, 1 o'clock. Remember, spread the news. The banquet is coming up in honor of A. Leonard Archer, our former principal, Clayton Fernando, Commissioner of Police, and Dr. Raymond King, Commodore of the Defense Force. That event is coming up October 1st, Super Club Breezes. We have the cocktail hour that probably begins at 7 or so. And then we have a silent auction plan for that night, some wonderful things that will be auctioned off. And then, of course, there's going to be food, drinks, lots of dancing and mixing and mingling and jokes and you name it. So if you know somebody who doesn't know about it yet, please help us spread the word. Tickets are available from David Williams. Any member of the executive team, I can remember some of the names: David Williams, Nelda Fox, Andrew Hunter, Dennis McPhee, myself. I love tickets. You can inbox me. You can find me on Facebook or wherever. And just let's do this. Let's celebrate our Cobra Pride, and let's invite somebody to come on in. Of those of you who are out of the country, if you have an opportunity to plan for the event, come on. And we actually even have a discount going on at Super Club Breezes. They've worked out a special price for us for people who want to overnight at the hotel on the weekend of the banquet. So let us know if you're interested in that too. Of course, you know, the more persons that book, the cheaper the rate for the hotel will be. So let us know what's happening. Inbox anybody. I'm sure you can find most of us on Facebook. David Williams. Yeah, David's number is 433-6917, 433-6917. And just let us know you need tickets, and we'll find you. We'll find you wherever you are. Make sure you get those tickets in. So this has been another walk down memory lane in Cobra Country. I'm Miranda Innes. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye, everybody.